Hey guys, Horror Man back for another review. So today I wanted to do a little bit of a classic review for you of a couple slightly vintage figures. Now these are the Living Dead dolls, of course made by Mezco Toys, and these are part of the Presents line. Now if you know anything about the Living Dead dolls, they do have a original character line that usually consists of a few figures per series. And then they also have another line called the Presents line, which are basically more like classic horror characters or classic movie characters, basically done up in the Living Dead dolls format. So within the Presents line, they actually made two versions of a few different characters. Characters like Freddy and Jason actually got a classic horror treatment, and then they also got the modern horror treatment. So let's go ahead and take a look at these Jason ones. The first one we're going to take a look at is the Part 3. So just taking a look at the Part 3 box, it's very cool. You get this hockey mask of the Living Dead doll on the front, then you see this kind of like creepy woodsy image, assuming it's, Camp Crystal Lake. You have the old New Line Cinema House of Horror logo on here. This is Friday the 13th Part 3. Also says ages 15 and up at the top. On the side, you get a cool picture of the actual figure, and then it actually wraps around into the back of the box. And then, of course, you see these creepy trees. The other side, it just says Jason Voorhees with more trees. Alright, and then on the top, you just get some blue, artwork. The bottom, you can see the Mezco website and just different logos for rights and things like that. Alright, and then all these boxes for the Living Dead dolls, just the Presents line, come in this type of packaging, whereas the regular Living Dead dolls come in a coffin box with a body bag. So you get a really nice packaging, more collector friendly with this Presents line. And then if you open up the box, you see a cool picture of the figure right here. It says Friday the 13th Part 3. And then on the inside, you can see the figure is clearly displayed. It's got this kind of like cutout blast effect. And then you can see the clear window with Jason showing here. And then it says Jason Voorhees. And then, of course, it could be sealed with just that little piece of Velcro, which has held up pretty good over the years. So let's go ahead and get this out of the box and get a closer look. Okay, so once you take it out of the box, he is on a plastic tray. And he does have the mask on, and then the machete is just held in with a little bit of like a twisty tie. Alright, so here's the Part 3 Jason out of the box, and I think he looks really good. With Jason, you get two accessories. The first accessory you're going to get is his machete, which is done really nice. The blood is just like kind of dripping, and it looks like he just killed one of his victims. So it's really well done. Matter of fact, the blood on this is some of the best I've seen done by really any company. The handle's really nicely done. You can see like a bit of a wood grain on here. If you look into the lighting, you can see how the wood grain shows up. A couple little holes on there, and you even get like a bit of a grip or like a finger slot. So really nice detail on here. Alright, now the next accessory is the hockey mask, which is removable. But before I get to that, let's just take a quick look at that sculpt. I mean, it is really nice. Now, if you see the blood that's going, where he gets hit with an axe, you can see it's on his head and it's dripping all down. It's just really, really nicely done. All dripping down the mask, a little bit on here. And then the holes, they're not going to be exactly like you would normally see with the Part 3, but this is supposed to be a doll, so it's okay that it's not like dead on accurate. But it does have the fabric straps, and it's really nicely proportioned, so I think it looks great. Now let's go ahead and just take this off, and then just taking a nice close-up of this. I mean, it's really good quality, very hard plastic. It does have, you can still kind of bend it, so it's not going to like shatter if you drop it or anything. But just the detail in this is just more than you could possibly expect. You can see all the little like chips and breaks all along the inner part of the mask here. Different, just sculpted details all over. Really nice. And again, it's just fabric straps, and the straps have held up really good over the years. Now, just taking a close-up of the face, it looks, again, really good. Now, even though this is just a, like a doll-based collectible, it still does look just like he did in part 3. All those little, like, bumps and different face, shapes that he has in here are very accurate to the movie. Like just the way they've done the eyes on here and the lip, just so well done. I just think they've done a very, very good job here. Another thing I really like is all the different veins you're seeing in the head sculpt, all the little wrinkles. You can even see his teeth coming through there, the blood all over his face, the chin. You can see it dripping down. And it's got this really nice shine to the blood, so it kind of looks more wet. But just all the lumps in the head sculpt, I mean, this is just so well done. Just very good job from Mezco. And the rest of the outfit's done with just the same care as the actual body is. Now, of course, you're going to get a fabric outfit here, and you can see all the blood splatter, blood stains. Not all of this is his blood. This is from his victims, obviously. There's little tears in the fabric, just little things like that. You have the buttons on here. Now, the buttons are actually functional buttons, so if you just pop that, you can see how the buttons actually work. And the clothes are removable. It's just going to be like a baby type of doll body underneath, so it's not going to be anything like brutal or anything. And then the buttons just snap back together. But yeah, you can even see the buttons on the shirt. And then if you look at the hands, you can see like the different blood on there. And then just down to the rest of the body, again, you have that same tattered and bloody detail all over the pants here, different, worn out knees. I love how they did the tattered pants here at the bottom, really nicely detailed. All the little stains from just walking around in the woods. You can see the blood on the boots, little strings, for the laces. And then just like the clothes, the boots are easily removable, but they're just like little baby feet. So yeah, great details on here. Alright, so you're not going to get a ton of articulation on here, but that's pretty much what this series is about. Again, they're more of a doll. So the head will rotate pretty good. You can twist around as much as you want. And then you can look down pretty far. Look up decent amount, and you can get that head tilt if you want a kind of creepy head tilt. The arms can go out about that far. They can go up pretty good. The clothes, hinders a little bit. They can go all the way down to the side. There's no elbow articulation, and there's no wrist articulation. There's also nothing at the torso. The legs can go out about that far. They can go back about this far. Probably go back farther, but the clothes hinders it just a little bit. And they can't really do a split or anything. So that's about it for articulation. Alright, and then here he is holding the machete. Now the machete itself, the handle's a little thick, but you can definitely bend the hands to fit pretty good. But it is just a little thick for the hand. So even if you're not a real big fan of Living Dead dolls, this Part 3 Jason is fantastic. The sculpt is really good on here, and even though it is in that kind of doll, body design and everything, it's still a Jason collectible, and it's really, really great quality. The blood in particular is done extremely well. So let's go ahead and take a look at the remake version. Okay, so here is the Living Dead Dolls Jason from the Friday the 13th remake. So again, it comes on the same type of packaging, just that same box. And then just like the other one, the Part 3, it kind of wraps around to the side. And then on the other side, you just see the Living Dead Dolls logo. And then you can see the picture of the figure on the back. And again, the figure wraps around to the side. And then the top, you just see kind of like just a little bit of graphics. And then the bottom, you can see all the different logos and rights for the different companies. And then if you open the box, again, you have the Velcro snap. On one side, you can see Jason holding a machete. And then on the other side, you can see the figure is clearly displayed inside of the box. And again, it's that nice clear window. It says Jason Voorhees on here. And again, it has that Velcro snap on it. So let's go ahead and take this out of the box. Now inside the box of the remake version, you actually get this cool little backdrop, and you can just use this, you know, if you want to take a couple photos or something with Jason. It's just like this bloody, woodsy backdrop, but it'll look cool if you just want to take a couple little pictures with him. The Part 3 one just came with a basic red color backdrop, so it's not even really worth showing, but I do like this little backdrop you get with the remake version. Alright, so here he is out of the packaging. Now, just like with the other one, you're really just going to get two main accessories. The first one, again, is going to be the machete. And the blood on here is done pretty good, not quite as good. It doesn't have that real wet type of look to it, but it is still pretty good on here. You can see a nice bit of blood splatter. And then the handle, has that wood pattern design to it, and just little like finger slots on here, a couple metal pins in there. So pretty good weapon here. Now the one plus about this machete is it definitely fits much better in the hand. Unlike the Part 3 one, it doesn't feel like it's like too big of a handle for the hand itself. So it fits really nice in there, and it definitely looks pretty good. Alright, now with the Part 3 version, the hockey mask was definitely, you know, an accessory, but with the remake version, it's actually not supposed to be an accessory, because the way they did it is they actually made it to where the mask isn't supposed to come off. However, it's only held in there by a couple, like 2 or 3 little dots of glue, and if you just apply a little bit of pressure to it, I was able to get it off pretty easily. So yeah, you can take the mask off. You will get a little bit of that residual glue on here, but it doesn't look horrible. It's just, you know, it's just kind of there. But his face already looks pretty crazy anyway. But I do like the face sculpt. It definitely is pretty much the same exact head sculpt. Well, it is the same head sculpt as the Part 3 Jason. It just has this dirty, you know, kind of paint to it, so it looks like he's kind of like a little more tan and he's a little dirtier, and then it also has hair all over here because he did have hair in the remake, and that hair is actually threaded in or sewn in, so they've done a really good job on that. And then you can see how it's kind of patchy, so you can still see the bald head kind of peeking through. So yeah, if you want, you can remove the mask, but it will leave a little bit of residual glue on here. The mask itself, again, is really nice, just like the Part 3. Matter of fact, it's the same exact sculpt as the Part 3. You can still see the little markings for the hockey mask, but they're kind of dirtied up and faded, scratched. You can see there's definitely a lot more stains and things like that on the mask. All those little like sculpted dents and everything on the side are still there. The one thing that is different is the inside of the mask actually has the face of the character. See how you can see the inside? They look completely different. That's because it was supposed to stay on his face and not be removed, but it was pretty easy to remove it. And again, the straps are exactly the same. And then if you just want to see a quick comparison of the masks, they both look much different. Same sculpt, just much different paint. And since they are the same mask sculpt, same head sculpt, you can swap the masks if you want to try putting this mask on them, and it looks pretty good actually. With that like white shirt and the blue jacket, actually seems to go pretty well with this mask. And just taking a closer look at some of the other details of this sculpt, the one thing I really love about this is this jacket, and he had a great design in this this movie. It was very reminiscent of some of the designs we saw in the early Jasons, but this jacket was very unique, and I love how they got this pattern to the sleeves. You can see how it's got some damage to it, some dirt. They got that like tattered bottom of the jacket. Just really well done. There's a separate collar piece, They have the zipper. The actual zipper is way too big, though. I don't know why I made it so big. Something that Mezco's kind of struggled with back in the day. But I think the jacket looks really good on here. And again, the pants and shoes, pretty much what you would expect from the last Jason, the Part 3 one. They got the same, pretty much same boots. The pants are kind of tattered, not quite as bloody and everything as the last version, but the wear and tear is still done pretty good on here. I feel like the shirt could have been stained just a little bit more, but overall I think the outfit is done really well. Now the articulation is exactly the same on this figure as it was with the other figures, so I'm not going to really go through much of that. But you can get him in, you know, various different poses, and his head does seem to pivot well and, you know, look up and down pretty well. So good articulation here. And again, you know, even if you're not a fan of this Living Dead doll series, if you're a Jason fan, I think you'd really like this. It's very unique, and if you're looking for something a little different for your Jason collection, I think this is one you're going to want to pick up. Comparison of both of these Living Dead doll Jasons, they're both around 10 3/4 to 11 inches tall. Okay, so for the first comparison, here are both versions of Jason next to the Living Dead doll of Michael Myers from the remake. Now this is the only other Living Dead doll that I have, and if I get enough views on this video, I'll do a review of this one as well. But you can see how they all stand up the same size since they're all on the same body, but they all look really good next to each other. They are next to the NECA Toyz Remake Jason and the NECA Toyz Part 3 Jason, so you can kind of see how big they are compared to the 7-inch scale figures. And here they are next to the 12-inch Sideshow Jason Voorhees from Part 3. And for the last comparison, here they are next to a couple of the Funko Jason Voorhees Dorbs. You can see the unmasked Part 3, the masked Part 3, and then there's a little Mezco Mezits Jason that was made years ago, and you can see they're much smaller. Now I don't have a Funko Pop of Jason, I just didn't really like how they came out. And I don't have the unmasked, which I did like that one. But here is the Casey Jones, so you can see how big he is compared to them. Alright, so that's my review. Overall, I think these Living Dead dolls are fantastic. Even if you're not a fan of this, if you're a Friday the 13th Jason fan, it's a very unique collectible, and it's something that you can get that's a little different for your collection. The Part 3 one is arguably just a little bit better. I think the paint's better on it. I like that the mask is supposed to come off, and I really like the box. I think the box art is fantastic. The remake version is very good. I like the modern take, and I think the jacket in particular is done very well. I like the hair. I think they've done a really good job on that. But both of them are really good. If you can get either one of them for a good deal, I highly recommend it. You probably can expect to pay around $100 for either one of them. Might go a little over $100 for the Part 3. So if you could find them, get them. It's definitely a unique collectible for your Jason or Friday the 13th collection. Thanks for watching my review. Please like the video, please subscribe, and until next time guys, see ya.